It really hasn't been that long since many high-ranking officials in the Ukraine were forced to resign as their ranks reeked of corruption. Now, if you ask me, I really wouldn't know where our taxes have gone off to already. I just know they get siphoned from my paycheck and from my bank account and they go somewhere. Which begs the question, should an audit of the billions of dollars sent overseas be done? I mean, just for the peace of mind of the American people. Comment a quick yes or no on that one. Now, while I don't have a complete audit, I did find out where some of our money went, and sadly, you're not gonna like where much of it ended up. And at the same time, the United States is going through some pretty tough economic times, and we're now being told that people are starting to lose the battle with inflation. I guess that's why we are talking about these topics in the same video, because we need the context and we need to understand what's really going on with our taxes and our own finances. But before I continue, please take a second, smash the like button for the video. It totally helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And since we're dealing with the facts here today, there is a chance that this video may get suppressed. So you know what? Please share this video with your friends too. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell. All right, guys. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There is a link in the description of this video. It takes like 15-20 seconds. All right, guys. It's no secret that we have less money in our bank accounts and our wallets these days, and it's obvious because of inflation. The amount of pressure that we're under is tremendous. And if you ask me, consumers have been freaking out for some time now. Households are running out of savings and good paying opportunities are being lost as layoffs continue to disturb our way of life. And that's just putting it lightly. Now, without proper pay and again, with others losing their jobs, banks are now bracing for more consumers to fall behind on loans. Some banks are even raising their lending standards, which means that they understand that consumers will soon run out of steam as their money comes to a screeching halt. And it's not just people who are making minimum wage. Even those who are making well over $100,000 a year, we're talking middle to upper income, upper class Americans feeling the pain here. The depreciation of the US dollar these past few years has been nothing short of amazing. Amazing in a bad way, because we're seeing households who make $80,000 to $100,000 a year. They're saying that they're living paycheck to paycheck. Matter of fact, I've even heard people saying that they're earning $250,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck. These are the same folks who used to live a middle class lifestyle. They were comfortable, and now things have gone so far south, so much so that they can't live the same way anymore. Now, there's always going to be people who are going to say $100,000 is more than enough money. And I guess it depends on your lifestyle. But realize that interest rates have gone up so much. Gas prices, I mean, you can't visit Walmart and Target carrying under $100 because the price of food continues to skyrocket. Now, with all of that happening to the American people, it sucks to see that our taxpayer money, it just doesn't seem to be taken care of. Or at least it's not taking care of us, I should say. Do you guys remember when Senator Rand Paul said this?
Reserving the right to object. My oath of office is to the U.S. Constitution, not to any foreign nation. And no matter how sympathetic the cause, my oath of office is to the national security of the United States of America. We cannot save Ukraine by dooming the U.S. economy. This bill under consideration would spend $40 billion. This is the second spending bill for Ukraine in 2 months. And this bill is 3 times larger than the first. Our military aid to Ukraine is nothing new, though. Since 2014, the United States has provided more than $6 billion in security assistance to Ukraine, in addition to the $14 billion Congress authorized just a month ago. If this bill passes, the U.S. will have authorized roughly $60 billion in total spending for Ukraine. Let's put $60 billion into perspective. According to Elias Youssef, a security assistant at the Stimson Center, Kiev would become the largest yearly recipient of U.S. military aid of the past 2 decades. Except for the top 5 countries, $60 billion is more than every other country in the world spends on their entire military expenditures. If this gift to Ukraine passes, our total aid to Ukraine will almost equal the entire military budget of Russia. And it's not as if we have that money lying around.
This was almost a year ago when Rand Paul wanted some accountability, some audit of sorts for the money that we've been sending overseas. The alarms have been ringing in our heads for so long now. And let me preface this by saying that I do feel sympathy for the people of the Ukraine. But honestly, I think the people of the Ukraine have been getting pimped out. I believe that the war is senseless, and I do hope that peace and order can one day come back to their country. Now, we have to admit that, we have many issues when it comes to providing financial aid. We've seen it here at home with millionaires and billionaires getting loans by the hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. And what happens next? Their loans are forgiven. I guess our government isn't a great role model for lending out cash. Now, what makes this worse is we continue to push billions upon billions of dollars to the Ukraine, given that we've known for a long time now that their country has a track record of corruption. And it's so entrenched into their government that countless high officials under Zelensky just resigned from their posts. Think of it this way. You run a small business, one of your employees comes in and asks for a little help. Out of the goodness of your heart, you give him some money, pay his wages, and tell them that they're good. No need to pay back what you gave them. A few days later, they come back in with a sports car. What's the first thought that pops in your head? What then do you think of when years ago, it was already proven that he did the exact same thing to another local small business? Now, I'm sure by now you understand that the business in the United States and the worker who keeps asking for money and help is the corrupt officials of the Ukraine. 2015, there was already an article explaining the corruption in this country by 2015, guys. That's a long time ago. Was that 8 years ago? You see the article, right? The most corrupt nation in Europe. Now, you might say that was the old Ukraine. The one we have now is different. That article was from The Guardian, okay? So let's go to 2023. The headline from the same website reads, quote, Ukraine deputy minister sacked for alleged theft of $400,000. Now, it sure doesn't look like they learned from their previous mistakes. This money was also sent to buy generators for Ukraine. But hey, this guy just colluded with contractors to inflate the price of said generators and took off with the difference. Now, again, this is our money. Now, while we're busting our butts working 2-3 jobs a day, some of the officials in the Ukraine are living the life. They must have learned it from their previous president. Have you guys seen this? I hope that I can pronounce this right. Mezihira Estate? It's a museum now. He left behind countless antique cars, a boxing ring, a 4-lane bowling alley, a loaf of bread that doesn't spoil because it's made of flipping gold. Gold that has been molded to look like a loaf of bread. Are you serious? I'm not making this stuff up, guys. Oh, and the peasants are hungry. Let them eat gold loaf breads. The officials that have recently resigned wasn't into antique cars. They preferred sports cars and stayed in mansions that cost $10,000 to $25,000 a month. Now, one of them even spent a holiday in Spain during winter when citizens of their country were struggling with energy. No wonder their president keeps asking for more money. They keep using it faster than they can ask for it. And at the end of all this, how far does the rabbit hole go? These are men that surrounded President Zelensky. You mean to tell me that he knew nothing of what was happening under his watch? He has enough time to see what the Olympics are doing, but he can't monitor the cash flow from the United States? Now, I seriously doubt that he knew nothing about any of this. And look, the media can tell you whatever they want, but if a president had some of his highest officials resign because of corruption, it's one of two things. A, he knew all about it, and it's how his wife was able to go on shopping sprees and even visit Davos to ask for more money. Or B, and this is unlikely, but he threw it out there, he was clueless that any of this corruption was happening and he's completely innocent, but that doesn't look good either because it means that he can't keep his house straight. But here's the part. Zelensky isn't fazed at all. Why? Because he knows that war is good business for them. He literally admitted to it in this video.
It is already clear that this will be the largest economic project of our time in Europe. It is obvious that American business can become the locomotive that will once again push forward global economic growth. We have already managed to attract attention and have cooperation with such giants of the international financial and investment world as BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. Such American brands as Starlink or Westinghouse have already become part of our Ukrainian way. Your brilliant defense systems, such as HIMARS or Bradleys, are already uniting our history of freedom with your enterprises. We are waiting for Patriots. We are looking closely at Abrams. Thousands of such examples are possible, and everyone can become a big business by working with Ukraine in all sectors, from weapons and defense to construction, from communication to agriculture, from transport to IT, from banks to medicine. And I believe that freedom must always win. And I invite you to work with us right now.
Is it just me, or did this sound like a CEO giving a speech to his employees at a year-end retreat or something? But again, you guys be the judge as I give you guys the facts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Frustrating doesn't even begin to describe how I feel right now about this entire situation. As seniors on Social Security fear the solvency of our government programs, they're talking about business over there. But we cannot stay frustrated or lose hope. That is not who we are. We're the kind of people who take charge of our lives. We can start that by creating side hustles or or small businesses enough to develop multiple streams of income. We can even invest in the stock market or even real estate. We can control how our narrative continues because we deserve financial freedom. Now, if you guys want to learn more about this, feel free to join us over in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below. But before I go, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. We cannot stay silent when we have the facts, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next one.